Hey, hi guys. So we're back for yet another Sunday, and this time we're going to be talking about air fryers. So we'll wait until a few people get here before we, before we really get going. So how did everybody's week go? How did everybody do this week? Is there anybody here yet? Did y'all have a good week this week? We were supposed to get snow here in Knoxville, and we didn't. I don't know whether I'm excited. I don't know whether I'm happy that we didn't get snow or if I'm disappointed, because we were actually supposed to get quite a bit. And in 1993, we had it was the blizzard of 1993, and this same time, kind of the similar system, we had like 21 inches. Hey, Casey. Oh, hey. Casey says I'm here. Say, oh, you know what? I can't see you all. Hold on. Okay. Hello, I'm here. Hey, Stacy. Hey, it's good to see you guys. So we'll get started here in just a second. But anyway, I was just talking about the snow. We did not have it. I know a lot of parts of the country did have it. Hey, Roxanne, how are you? So anyway, didn't have to have the snow. Did get prepared food-wise. We got quite a few things because we were afraid that we would have snow. So it looks like we have several people here. Hey, Carol, good to see you again this week. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about air fryers. And so if you're in my If You Have an Egg Facebook group, you know that our group, hey Jennifer, you know that our group started kind of, Carol says New Jersey is expecting 12 to 24 inches. That's crazy. And here's one of our Karens, and she says it's rainy and cold in Texas, but cold is high 60s. That's not cold, Karen. We'd be wearing shorts. But anyway, so y'all know that in our If You Have an Egg Facebook group that we accidentally started an air fryer club, and several of the ladies had an air fryer, and I wanted one really bad. So I joined the group, and I got one, and I'll show you my air fryer here in just a second. But first I wanted to show you the books that come with it. I got the Power Air Fryer. Hey, Georgianne again from Texas, from warm South Texas. I got the Power Air Fryer XL, and my husband got it for me for Valentine's Day. That was very sweet of him. And of course, he's been enjoying, the food that's made out of it, and he's waiting now to be able to eat the rest of his dinner because I cooked it, let him try it, and then took it away from him so that we would have it for the video. But I wanted to just tell everybody, most of the air fryers, I don't know a lot about the other brands. I've heard some things since I've been preparing for this, but like mine is a Power Air Fryer XL, and we will look at it in just a second. But I did want to point out they all come with, some form of a cookbook. Hey, Angie. And so y'all know Angie is already angling for spending 2 hours tonight. The time changed last night. I'm not sure I'm up for 2 hours, and I'm not sure y'all want to listen to me talk for 2 hours. But anyway, so we'll see. We'll see how far we get. And hey, Deb, how are you? But all of the air fryers come with one of these. Something similar, mine's the Power Air Fryer XL. I don't know exactly what yours is going to look like. Thank you for the hearts. This one, has some suggested times and temperatures. Depending on your air fryer, it could have some pre-settings, and we'll look at the pre-settings on mine in just a second. But most of them have suggestions. Like for the one I have, it has thin frozen fries, thick frozen fries, homemade potato wedges, homemade potato cubes, hash browns, potatoes. So it has all different things. Vicky has a Power XL too, and she loves hers. Mine's a 5.3 quart, I think, so it's huge, and you'll see it when we look at it. But anyway, when you first start, I was a little bit nervous the first time I used mine. I don't know why it made me nervous. It was kind of silly, but I was scared to cook anything, so I made French fries in it the first time. And guess what? I didn't break anything. I didn't burn anything. The loft didn't burn down. So I just started spreading out. Do use these as a guideline. Kind of go over that. I'm not big on reading instructions for things when I buy them, but do get this out of your packaging, whichever brand you get. Get this out of your packaging, go through it, kind of use this as a guideline. I've been adjusting things, up and down, talking to some other people. And then like the Power Air Fryer XL comes with this cookbook. And one of the Karens says, I ordered the Power XL and it'll arrive tomorrow. She gets it tomorrow, so hopefully we're going to see some good, some good things from her. But this one has color recipes. So I would suggest digging this out of your box. I think it's a good idea. It is one of the things that one of the few things that I did read the instructions on. So I'm going to set these over here to the side unless y'all have some questions about them. Now let's look at my air fryer real quick. I will tell you one of my favorite things about this so far, aside from the fact that it cooks absolutely scrumptious food, is how easy it cleans. So I have been cooking for, gosh, probably 2.5 hours, I guess. And I've made things with bacon, I've made things with potatoes, I've made things with steak, and y'all will see that in a few minutes too. But I put a little bit of Blue Dawn dish detergent in mine and some hot water and swished it around and then used a soft sponge, and look how clean it is. Here is my Power air fryer. So again, I have the XL, mine's a 5.3 quart. Look how huge this thing is. So like here's my hand. See how big it is compared to my hand. And of course here's my handy dandy waffle iron that never ever leaves the counter because I like to make Wegos and things on them. But if I can do this, if I can hold my iPad and do this at the same time. So here's the Power Air Fryer XL. You can see how big this basket is. This one does come with a divider tray, so I didn't bring that out for us to talk about tonight, but the divider tray you can put right here so you can cook 2 things at one time. I'm not quite that skilled at it yet. I'm not that brave to do that. But look how clean it is, and literally, I mean, there's one little speck. There's one little speck of something right there. Literally, all I did was put a couple of drops of, again, Blue Dawn dish detergent in there. I use that to clean my granite countertops too, just in case you have granite. And just a little soft sponge, and it came right out. One thing I will caution you on, if you get the Air Fryer XL, in the instructions, it says not to push this red button. And it says it about 15 times on everything. And there's big, letters that say not to touch this, not to squeeze this, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it until you're ready to touch it. And this is why, I'm going to back up a little bit. So when you lift this up and down, you pick this up, if you accidentally press this, the basket's going to come out. So, and you can see there's the bacon grease from earlier, but yeah, so if you accidentally do that while you're shaking French fries or while you're, flipping things over or whatever, if you accidentally push this button and lift, that basket's going to come out. I haven't done it yet, but it's probably not a good idea. But anyway, so let's put this basket back in here, and you can see how big it is. You could probably fit a chicken in there. I haven't tried it yet, but you probably could. You're not really supposed to put anything, do this without having any food in here. So let's come back to me for a minute. One of the things that we made last week, or that I showed you all last week, was corn. So what I have here is just a regular ear of corn. I got it at Aldi. I used a little bit of just nonstick olive oil spray and sprayed it on there. Let's see how. Okay, Angie wants to know how much is the Power XL. John, how much was it? $159. Online, it was $159. He actually went on their website and bought it. So if you buy it online, it's $159. But it comes with everything. If you go, I think they also have this brand at Bed Bath & Beyond. If you go to Bed Bath & Beyond and get it, yes, Angie, I know you love Aldi. We talked about that last week. But if you go to Bed Bath & Beyond to get this, be sure and take a coupon. Whatever. Hey, Diane, I'm glad you found us. So I sent out a link earlier to where we were because we had a couple of people last week that were lost. They couldn't find us. But anyway, so if you go to Bed Bath & Beyond, take a coupon. Their coupons never expire. If you don't already have a Bed Bath & Beyond coupon, go online and you can get one. Once you get one, then every time you go, they send you one. So, anyway, always take one. Carol got the 3.4 quart for $119. Yeah, so that's a good deal. So I'm going to flip you all back around here. So what we're going to do with the corn, I'm going to put the corn in the basket, and you can cook more than one piece of corn at a time. We're just going to do this for time's sake. So you put it in the basket, and you're going to close it. Preferably, you're going to use 2 hands. Now, I had just finished cooking something just a few minutes ago, and I hope y'all can still hear me. Actually, I'm going to walk away from it. I'm going to walk back over here for just a second so that we're away from it and you can still hear me. I was cooking something that I'll show you in just a minute. So it is cooling down. So the noise that you hear and the fan turning, it does that at the end of every cycle. And yes, it's this annoying. It is this loud and it is this annoying, and the dog hates it. Okay, so we're going to start this again. So again, it's just an ear of corn. I sprayed it with, let's see, Susan says she got her XL at Kohl's for $149, and used coupons and got Kohl's Cash. Awesome, awesome, good job, Suzanne. Way to use your Kohl's Cash. So for something fun, I hope. Maybe some walking shoes or something else that's going to be fun. So anyway, we're going to put this in here. I just sprayed it with a little bit of nonstick olive oil spray, and then I used, y'all know that Dean Jacobs bread seasoning, I use it on everything, so I put a little bit of that on there, and then I put some Bragg Nutritional Yeast so that it would taste like it had a little bit of Parmesan on it. And we're going to stick it in. This time I'm starting from scratch, and I'm doing this so that I can show you all this on the Power XL. This is the power button. These are the pre-settings. So that one is French fries. That one is, I don't know what, bacon maybe? I don't know. I have to read the instructions. Some kind of shrimp something. Baked goods. I didn't get the little insert, so I don't do baked goods. That's like a steak or a chicken, I guess. Or I'm sorry, chicken. That's a steak. And then that's for fish. But on the corn, this is to adjust the time. I'm going to do it for 8 minutes. And I'm going to do it for, let's see, 360. It's what I did it for last time. And then I'm going to say go. So, we are going to walk back over here. We're going to walk away from the air fryer just because it's so loud, because the fan's so loud. Let's see, Angie said put some Bragg yeast on it. Yes, Angie, I did. I did put some Bragg Nutritional Yeast. Okay, and we are not getting distracted on that again this week. Here it is. This is the only time we're talking about it tonight. And I did have to ask the manager at the Publix that I've started shopping at, because I've been getting this at like Whole Foods and I've seen it a couple other places, but I've pretty much exclusively, thank you for the thumbs ups, I've pretty much switched exclusively to the Publix that is near UT, near the University of Tennessee. Go Vols! I've pretty much switched to that one. Let's see, besides the yeast, what was the other seasoning? Oh, Karen, hold on, let me grab it. Alan says, what are we cooking up today? Alan had an invitation to come over and eat tonight, but I don't know, they had something better to do, so they're not here. Let me grab that other seasoning. Hold on just a second. So on the corn, let's see, it's hard to find. The nutritional yeast is, oh, and Angie got her steps in today. Good job, Angie. The nutritional yeast sometimes is a little bit hard to find. You can order it online, so don't panic. And can you all still hear me over the top of the air fryer? So somebody tell me yes or no. I had a lady last week complain that she couldn't hear me, so now I'm worried that y'all can't hear me over the top of the air fryer. Anyway, so on the corn, I just sprayed a little bit of olive oil on a little bit of olive oil cooking spray on nonstick spray on there just so that everything would stick. And then I added my favorite Dean Jacobs. Casey, is that yes? You can hear me. Thank you. Dean Jacobs bread dipping seasoning, and I put this on everything. Thank you, Jennifer. I put this on everything. Thank you, Susan. I put this on, thank you, Jean. I put this on eggs. I put it on bread. I put it in, oh, I'm sorry. Angie said she got her steps in looking for the Braggs in the store. Yeah, I understand. So, anyway, this bread dipping seasoning, you can use any kind of seasoning. The nutritional yeast, the Publix that I've switched to, I had to ask the manager if they had it, and he and Karen, we'll talk. We're not going to get distracted on this again, because we could probably spend an entire hour talking about the Bragg Nutritional Yeast. Y'all ask about it every single week. Obviously, I eat a lot of this. Look, this is my second container, and I'm already down to that. But so tonight I put this on the corn. It tastes like, and I'm not kidding, it tastes like panko and Parmesan had a baby. So I put it on anything that Parmesan would be good on, anything that panko would be good on. And the manager at the Publix that I have switched to didn't know what it was. He didn't know what we were looking for. He took me over into the, I guess it's the workout stuff. I don't know, the pump it up, protein stuff. It was not even close. And he showed me some other kind of yeast that I don't know what it's for. And yeah, Angie, I think we probably will end up doing a whole video on this, because I get asked about it so much. But anyway, he took me over to that section, and Carol says they sell this at the vitamin shop. But anyway, so that manager didn't know. Well, he didn't even know what Bragg was. And now I love Publix, don't get me wrong, but he didn't even know what Bragg was. So I took him back over to they had a display out in the middle of the floor of the Bragg apple cider vinegar, and they just got in some Bragg, the liquid aminos. They sell it in a bottle, but they sell it in a bottle like this, like that. But this Publix Angie, I don't have a pressure cooker. We talked about that last week. I can't do a pressure cooker video. I don't have one. But anyway, so I showed him those two things, and he wrote the name down. So, you know, hopefully he'll get some, because as you can see, I'm getting dangerously close to being out. But anyway, so we're talking about the air fryer tonight, so we're going to switch back to that. So what I'm going to do while this corn is cooking, actually, you know what? We're going to go check it real quick. We are going to check the corn real quick. It has already been 4 minutes since I started the corn. So on the Power Air Fryer XL, I don't know about the other kinds, but on this one, you can open it while it's cooking. And I'm going to bring this over here, and it's looking good. I'm going to take a spatula. Now, things like French fries, you're going to want to shake them about halfway through, but I'm going to take a spatula, turn it over. And if I was, you know, if I wasn't just making this for the video, I'd be making like 4 of them at a time. No, I don't cook one. Now see, look, it starts all by itself, which is awesome. So if I was doing this to actually eat, I would do 3 or 4 of them at a time instead of 1 at a time. But anyway, since we're doing it for this video, and since we've already eaten all the rest of them, then I only had 1. So we're going to do that. And this is just going to be something so I can show you, you know, what it does in real time. Everything that I made today, it took me probably 2.5 hours to make it. Everybody but Angie doesn't have 2.5 hours to spend here. And I think Angie would stay all night, if I'm right, Angie. But anyway, so anyway, I had to make it all, get it ready, let my husband taste it. So he's been teased now with the promise of dinner, but without actually eating. So I'm sure he's getting hungry and would like for us to talk about the very first thing. And yes, Angie, the liquid, Carol is right. It's similar in taste to soy sauce, and we're going to use it in something else. Angie said, she says, I would, this is fun. Yeah. I wish everybody wanted to listen to me talk all day. I wish my employees wanted to listen to me talk all day. They get tired of listening to me. Anyway, so the liquid aminos, it is like a substitute for soy sauce, but it's actually kind of sort of good for you. But it does have a lot of sodium. So I got a question about sodium last week, and I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't even play one on TV. So, you know, I'm doing these things for low Weight Watchers points, for low SMART points. I'm not doing them for any other, particular nutritional value. So while I don't mind to tell you all, what things have in them, anyway, I'm not a nutritionist. So this does have 160 milligrams of sodium. So this is not low sodium, but it is better for you than just regular soy sauce, and it's delicious too. So let's talk about the very first thing that I made. Now that we've kind of familiarized ourselves with the brand of air fryer that I have anyway, let's talk about a couple of the things that I made. So the first thing I made is air fryer. I'm just going to call them air fryer Fiesta potatoes, and don't drink the bottle, Angie. It's without something else to drink, because it's very salty but good. Everything we're going to talk about will eventually be transcribed on here, and as always, this video will be available here on the Facebook page. It will also be available on the blog. That's www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. It will be linked in all of my social media things. We've talked about all the social media. It'll be transcribed here on the page, and hey Diane, you can actually see me. I know it says you joined, but hey Diane. And Diane, we are not making Holly's brownies tonight, so you're just going to have to move on. We're doing air fryer, good for you Weight Watchers things. But anyway, so this will be transcribed there, and it'll be on YouTube, and then the transcription and recipes will eventually be. Hey Betty, Betty's in Indiana. Did y'all get snow in Indiana this time, Betty? Because we missed it here. We totally missed it. But anyway, so these will all be on. They'll all be transcribed on there. And all the recipes will be on there too. But you got to give me a little time. I made 2.5 hours worth of food today. I'm not going to get it all done tonight. And since we lost an hour, when the time changed, which I'm really upset about. Yes, no Holly's brownies. Diane, sorry, you got to get off. But anyway, so the first thing I made is I'm going to call them. One of our Karens is in Long Island, New York. Whoa. Let's see. I don't think I've ever been to Long Island, but my husband has. He actually worked on a job site in Long Island not too long ago. But anyway, so the air fryer, I've just called them air fryer Fiesta potatoes, and the reason I called them that is because for the seasoning on that one, I know y'all are going to be surprised that it does not have Bragg Nutritional Yeast on it. Oh, and Colleen's from Long Island. You guys should get together. Are y'all like in the same Weight Watchers group or something? Long Island isn't that big. You can't be that far from each other. So I use this. It's Hidden Valley. Okay, and here goes the obnoxiousness. Let's go turn that off, because it's horrible. Okay. Sorry to jump topics, but here's the corn. So the corn we did on like 400. I think we had it on the French fry mode, and we did it for, oh, and we've got an Ohio, and it's Karen. Another Karen is here from Ohio, and then we've got Susan is from Lawrence, Kansas. That's awesome. Kansas has had some weird weather here lately. Are you guys okay? Just checking. And Angie's from, oh, Angie and Jennifer are here, and they're from Indiana too. Okay, y'all should hook up. So here's the corn. Let's see, and Rochelle lives in the city of New York. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so there's the corn. So we're going to let that cool off for just a minute, and then I'm going to let my husband eat it, since I've been starving him to death all day. So anyway, the potatoes. Susan says yes, they have had crazy weather. It's been very crazy. So it has the Hidden Valley Fiesta Ranch powdered. It's just powdered Hidden Valley Ranch. This is not low. This is not low in points, so use it sparingly. It has a lot of flavor to it. It is a little bit spicy, and for I think 1 teaspoon is like 4 points. We'll look that up. So this has 1/4 teaspoon on it. If you can see it, I may actually have to turn the. Hold on, I'm gonna turn the camera around so you. So there's that. And you'll have to ignore the box in the background. That is actually the box that my air fryer came in, and I have been unwilling to put it up because I wanted to make sure that it worked, and it does. So these potatoes, I did those. Okay, so these potatoes, this started out as these little potatoes, which I love. They're just little tricolor, let me hold them like this. They're little tricolor new potatoes. And I yes, Angie, you can sample some. My husband's already sampled them and he liked them. So it was those little tricolor new potatoes. And again, I used just some nonstick spray. And I get, this one's from Aldi because it's cheap. And it just tastes like regular olive oil spray. There's no reason to buy anything fancy. No, Angie, those little potatoes were not from Aldi. They were from Publix, but I get them at Kroger too. I don't know if Aldi, do you know, Angie, does Aldi have the little tricolor new potatoes like that? But anyway, this is, it's inexpensive. You can get it at Aldi. You can get it at Trader Joe's. You can get it at Publix, Target. Just plain old olive oil spray. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. So I lightly sprayed both sides of the sliced potatoes with that. And, okay, and Angie says they do have these potatoes at Aldi. So you can see I didn't cut them super thin. That's maybe, what, 1/4 inch thick. Basically, I cut each one of the little potatoes into 3 slices. And so, oh, Angie says they're all the same color. And really, the color doesn't change the taste. I just like the way it looks when you're done, because now I have, here's a little white potato. Here's a little purple potato. And here's a little red potato. But anyway, it makes it fun. It makes it fun and festive. And so it's just a little bit of the olive oil spray on both sides, just barely, don't put a lot on there. Put it on both sides. A little bit of the Fiesta Ranch, and again, this will all be posted here within the next couple of days, and it'll be transcribed on YouTube, and it'll be on the blog, so y'all will be able to you don't have to write all this down. I will eventually have it written down for you. And then I just put a couple of scallions on there. And again, you can't really see it. Hold on. So I put a couple of scallions on just to top it off, just to finish making it pretty. Just some little diced green onions, scallions, whatever you have. And yeah, it's easy. And I cooked this on, so these potatoes, when I put them in the air fryer, I put it on 180, and I cooked them for 10 minutes. And then I shook the basket, and then I flipped them over with a spatula, and then I cooked them for 15 more minutes. So 25 minutes total. It was on 180 for 25 minutes total, shake and flip, you know, in between. And so now if my husband's hungry, he can come get these. Do you want those? And he's coming to get them. So I think he liked those. Did you like those earlier? Okay. He says yes, he did like those earlier. Okay. And then the next, so y'all have any questions about air fryers yet? So our corn turned out good. Did y'all see it when it got done? It might be cool enough for me to go ahead and pick up now. Let me see, and I'll bring it back over here. Yeah. So, as you can see, licking my fingers again. I hope there's no health department code for eating food in your own home, because I'll be in big trouble. But here is the corn. And you can see, so now it's like fried corn. So it had the spray. Let's see, did the chart tell you the time and temperature for the potatoes? So no, Karen. What I did with potatoes is I took the general information. Let's see, could you not put the temp 359 to 400? You could, but it makes them really tender when you cook them at this temperature. And Roxanne wants to know, what's the texture on the potatoes, crunchy or soft? They're soft. That's why I cooked them so long. And Angie says, is it dry? The potatoes dry? Karen says she has one and she loves it, and she's watching to learn more tonight. Good, Karen. So this is another Karen. So we want to see what you made, you know, at some point. Where'd the little book go? Oh, right here. So somebody asked if that's what it told me to set it on in the book. Let's see. Angie says, I can't see anyone text. No, the corn. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Angie. I mean, I don't know what. Oh, is the corn dry? Oh, no. No, gosh, no. No, the corn's not dry. It's very juicy. It's very hot. It's very hot, but it's very juicy. Can you see how juicy it is? Hold on a second, and I'll poke it with something. But on the potatoes, they cooked theirs, homemade potato wedges, they cooked theirs on 360 for 18 to 22 minutes. Oh, and Karen, one of my other Karens, hey Karen, says, finally found you. How do you people keep getting lost? You live here, you know me. You should have been able to come right to it. But anyway, and sometime, Karen, you're going to have to come over to the loft, and we'll do this, you know, live. Actually, the Karen that I'm talking to right now, and I guess y'all can see each other's comments, I don't know, but the Karen that I'm talking to right now came up with a really neat thing. She takes Pizzelli cookies and microwaves them, I think, for 30 seconds, and then she rolled them up, and she made some, like a filling to go in it. So I'm not going to get, thank you for the thumbs ups and for the hearts. We're not going to get distracted on Pizzelli cookies tonight, but yeah, but we're going to have to talk about those soon. So, and Angie, I don't know why you can't see anybody else's comments. Because I'm pretty sure other people can. Is it maybe to do with your privacy settings or something? Yeah, another Karen, those are like cannoli. And another Karen says, I'm freezing up. I don't know why. Casey, if you're there, can you tell me if you're having any problems? Am I freezing up? Is it me or is it you all? Because it looks fine to me. And hi, Melissa. Good to see you. So back on the potato wedges, the book that came with mine said 360 for 18 to 22 minutes, but that makes them more like a French fry consistency. And these, and I'm going to steal them back from my husband for a second. And Colleen's saying hi to Christine in case you can't see it. And Joanne says, I'm not freezing. Casey says, I'm not having issues so far. So whoever, let's see, it's working. And another Karen says, it's working okay on my device. It may be device specific. Kathy says, you're fine. Carol says, I've been making homemade Pizzelli since the 70s. Sherry says, I can see all the comments, no freezing at all. So thanks, guys, for chiming in so that, so we'll know whether or not we're having any technical difficulties. But I did 180 for the 25 minutes because I wanted it to be more like a roasted potato. So let me just get into this here. I wanted them to be more like roasted potatoes instead of like French fries. So if you wanted them to be French fries, you can do, but we're still talking about the potatoes. If you want to do more like French fries, you can do them on a higher temperature for a shorter amount of time. Angie did a refresh, and now she can see the comments. So if anybody else is having trouble with the comments, sounds like you can do a refresh and and get them going again. But anyway, so these are more like roasted potatoes, not like French fries. If you want to do French fries, it's a higher temperature and less time, so it's like 360, I think. Or mine, and Casey says the purple potato is so pretty. I know, I love it, and thank you for the hearts and the thumbs ups. So I'm probably gonna lick, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 points off my fingers while we're doing this. But mine also has a French fry setting. I personally think that the French fry setting is too high on mine. I take it down about 10 degrees, and then I shake them. Thank you. Look at all the little thumbs ups. Thank you. Oh, and I can see some of those are Casey. Yep, Casey and Alan. So anyway, I'll take mine down about 10 degrees, and then about halfway through, I take the basket out, and I shake it, and I flip them with a spatula. I don't just shake. I can't shake and flip at the same time, so I'll shake it and then flip it with a spatula. But anyway, so yeah, the potatoes are more roasted than they are like French fries. So you can see the corn. And here, let me grab a knife real quick, and I'll show you. Angie asked if the corn was dry. So it's fried corn, and I'm going to attempt to not cut my fingers off while I do this, because I can't really see what I'm doing. But can you see how moist it is? So that corn is super moist, and it is delicious. I'll just try it for you. My gosh, it's good. And it's good. It's so good fried. It's a totally different taste. I'm hoping that it's like Mexican street corn. Don't know whether it is or not, but we're going to say that it is. And I'm actually going to set this over in another plate. You're going to see this again here in just a minute in another plate, but I need to get it out of my way temporarily. Okay. The next thing that I made, let's see, okay, yeah, we're still talking about the purple potato. So, and I'm moving a little bit of corn that I cut off. I'm going to move it over onto a little tortilla that I'm going to use for the very last thing, and it's going to be another thing that we're actually going to cook. So the next thing I'm going to show you is I made these little skewers today, and these were so fun to make. You could put the potatoes on these too if you wanted to. For these, I used yellow squash. Let's see. Sherry says, thanks for doing this. How many points for the corn? If it's a medium ear of corn, it's 4 points, because it's just the points for the corn. And again, this will all be transcribed later. Not tonight, because we lost an hour of sleep. And I'm going to whine about it for days, rest assured. So the corn is just the points for the corn, because I used nonstick spray and Bragg Nutritional Yeast and some seasoning that I use. So it's just the points for the corn. And again, this will all be transcribed later. And thank you for the thumbs ups. So back on these, the little skewer things. So what I did is I took some, God, I forgot what kind of meat it was. Round. I don't know. We'll have to look at it later. It'll be transcribed. It'll be transcribed later. And so I took yellow squash. Carol, did you soak the wooden sticks for the kebabs? No, and that's the interesting thing. If I was doing it, Angie, you're hilarious. We're not talking about the Bragg Nutritional Yeast. You're not going to sucker me back into that. And yes, the LOL's cute, but no, you're not sucking me back into that. But anyway, so when we're grilling outside, which we can't do anymore because we live in a loft now, then I would always soak my bamboo, the little wooden sticks for the kebabs. But I did not have to. And look, it's not even, oh, where's the camera? Okay. It's not really scorched. So that was nice. So I didn't set any wooden skewers on fire. And they turned out really nice. So I'm going to turn this just to entice you, just to make you want one of these. So I did on mine, I did yellow squash. This is a portobello mushroom, whatever kind of steak it was, and I'll have to look at it in a little bit. Zucchini and another piece of steak. And you could do tomatoes, you could do, you could do all kinds of things on this. And mix it in a little bag. And let me grab the bag and I will show you, and I'll show you what I put in it. Don't go away. I'm coming back. I promise. Okay, sorry. My bag was farther down in the drawer than I realized that it was. So, this is what I use. This is my fancy-dancy gadget for marinating things before I'm going to do things like grill them. So what I did on that, and again, all of this will be transcribed. It'll all be on the blog, www.IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. It will all be transcribed here. Everything will be available on the app, on the If You Have an Egg app. So to quickly run through it, it has, I cut up everything and I put it in the Ziploc bag, the big zippered bag. Then I used my olive oil spray again, just lightly, coated it just very lightly. You don't need much at all because the meat's going to help, keep that fat content up. And that's the only time you don't put oil. Like I haven't put oil yet in here. And people will ask, sometimes they'll say, thank you for the thumbs up. People will say, oh, well, how much oil do you put in there? I haven't put oil on anything yet. On anything. Nothing that I've actually put in the air fryer have I put oil in or on yet. So this, I just lightly sprayed it with the nonstick spray. And then I used 1 tablespoon of, this is smoky balsamic vinegar. And if you can find this where you live, I highly recommend getting some of this. I actually got mine from Z Olive. It is an olive oil. It's an olive oil. Angie, I have no idea. Angie wants to know how it fries without oil. I don't know. I have no idea. It's magic. Seriously, I don't put any oil on anything. Now, things that don't already have fat in them, like the meat already has fat in it, so no problem. Chicken has fat in it. Pork chops have fat in them. So you don't have to add anything. Everything else, I literally have just lightly sprayed it with the nonstick spray, and it's worked fine. So this came from a local place called Z Olive. If you don't have a local, place that sells specialty oils and vinegars and things like that, you can actually order this one from Z Olive, and I think it's zoliveknox.com or something like that. And he does have little sample bottles. If you're here in Knoxville, he's on Cedar Bluff Road. He's at the, he's at the bottom of Cedar Bluff Road, and it's where, there's a Tuesday morning in there, and it's across the street from Altruda. So if you're from Knoxville, you know what I'm talking about right now. So anyway, this is smoked balsamic vinegar. Doesn't have to be this kind, but yeah, it's the bomb. And then with it, so that was 1 tablespoon of that, and then 2 tablespoons of Bragg liquid aminos. And remember, this is the natural soy sauce alternative. And yes, everything's still backwards. But anyway, oh, and Casey says if you're here in Knoxville, it's near Panera and Nukes. And Karen says, ooh, headed to the olive oil store. But Karen, go to Z Olive and tell him you know me, because sometimes he'll give a discount if you tell him you know me. It's good to be recognized as the egg lady. Quick side story, we were at a home show probably 5 or 6 months ago, and I knew that he was going to be there, but I had never met him before. And I was walking around the corner, and I heard somebody say, hey, I know you. And I turned around and I said, oh, hey, how are you? And he goes, wait, you're that egg lady. And I went, oh, how do you know that? And it kind of freaked me out for just a second. But then I realized, oh, he follows me on Instagram. So anyway, so Karen says that's where she's going to head this week. She's on spring break and she's bored. So you need to go to Z Olive. Then you need to come by the Stone Shop and see me. Yeah, and bring me some of those. Karen, you need to come by and see me and bring me some of those dark chocolate pizzellis. That would be awesome. So the liquid aminos, and it's 2 tablespoons of this. Let's see, is it okay if the marinades drip off into the fryer? Yes, it is. I wouldn't purposefully, oh, and Angie wants to know how I came up with the egg name. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So Colleen wants to know if it's okay if the marinades drip off into the fryer. Yes, but I wouldn't try to put a lot of liquid in there. If there's too much liquid in the bottom, it can smoke just a little bit. Not bad, but just a little bit. And I wouldn't put anything, like I wouldn't put a pancake in it, or something like that. But the liquids being on what you're air frying, is okay. So some of these, drop into the bottom, wasn't a big deal. But again, I wasn't like pouring liquids into the bottom. So it was 2 tablespoons of this, 1 tablespoon of the smoked balsamic vinegar, and then I used some Trader Joe's. Hey, Karen, did y'all have a good dinner? This is another Karen. This is my accountability buddy, Karen. She's here. Diane said, and she just joined us. She just had dinner with her son and his girlfriend. But Diane says, yes, Karen, my office is close to Kelly. Delivering U.S. Pizzellis would be nice. Ha ha. Oh, yeah. Actually, you could. Yeah, Diane. Karen had shrimp for dinner. Good girl. Good girl. I'm glad you found something that you wanted. But so with that, so again, it's 1 tablespoon of the smoked balsamic. And this Karen already knows where Z Olive is. So if you know that Karen that's talking right now, she can tell you how to get there too. And 2 tablespoons of the Bragg liquid aminos, and then probably I guess it was about a teaspoon of this. I found this at Trader Joe's a long time ago, and I still have quite a bit in my container because y'all know I love the the bread dipping seasoning that I just showed you. But if you need to just kick it up a little bit, kick it up a notch, yes, Angie wants to know, is the coffee rubbing you good? It's really good, and I can't even explain it. I can't explain the flavor, but it's really good. So again, used all 3 of those. Put it on the steak, portobello mushrooms, zucchini, the yellow squash, and put all that in my Ziploc baggie, mushed it around. Now I only let that marinate about an hour this time, just because I was in a hurry to get the video going, and so it didn't get to marinate as long as I like for it to. But don't think hubby complained. He just stepped out for a second to take the dog out for a walk, and look how juicy those are. I mean, these have been sitting out now for probably 20 minutes, and they're still, look at that. Look how juicy. Don't you, oops, that's too close. Don't you want this? So, and he's kind of been stalking me. I think he wanted these like before I was ready for him to have them. Let's see. Then the next thing that I made, this is actually something that, and I'm glad that my accountability buddy Karen is here, because this is something that she, and thank you for the thumbs up. This is something that she, another Karen. I can't find the olive oil store. What is the name again? That one is called Z Olive Knox. It's Z-I-L-O-I-V-E. So it's Z, and I know this is backwards, and I'm sorry. Angie says pineapple would be good in it too. Angie, that would be really good to do the grilled pineapple. But it's Z Olive, Z-I-O-L-I-V-E, Knox, K-N-O-X. I'm pretty sure the website's zoliveknox.com, but we'll look when I get ready to transcribe this. We'll look and confirm that that's it. But so those little kebabs. So these I just set straight into the basket, and you can probably in the Airfryer XL you could probably fit, because these are the little kebabs. They're little bitty ones. You could probably fit maybe 6 or 8 of these at a time in there. You could do chicken. Oh, Karen says she found it. She was hearing D, not Z. And I have no idea what the Z is, the Z-I. I don't know why it's Z. I should ask him that sometime. But these are the little, they're little short skewers. And you can probably fit 6 or 8 of them in there at a time. And I put it on the steak setting because, again, mine has preset settings. So I put it on the steak setting. And then took it down to 380, because I think the steak setting automatically comes up at 400. I took it down to 380, and I cooked them for 8 minutes. And to be honest, I forgot about them. I meant to turn them, and I forgot about them, and I didn't do it. So it was 8 minutes on 380, and they're perfect. They didn't need to be turned at all. So, and I'm turning it here in front of you again to make you want these. Remember, all of this information will be on my blog later, not tonight. If you're watching this live, it will not be tonight, because we lost that hour of sleep, and I'm still whining about it, and will be for a day or two. but it'll be on there soon. It's www.ifyouhaveanegg.com, and it'll also be on the app, and it'll be on here. So anyway, so I'm spinning it so that you can see, even though I forgot to turn them, they're fine. They're not burned on, any side. They're fine. Then the next thing that I made, my accountability buddy Karen, who's here now, she made these last week, I guess, and they turned out so good that I wanted to. Oh yeah, another Karen says she's whining about the hour loss too. Yeah, big time. So she has perfected bacon and she has a Power Air Fryer XL, and Alan says those look amazing. And Alan, guess what? You would have been eating that for supper tonight if you had been here. Kathy wants to know how many smart points for the kebab. Honestly, it's not going to be more than 2 per kebab, and I'll get that information on here later because I've got to see. Charlene says she's trying to watch it, but it keeps buffering. She guesses she'll watch it later on the website. Charlene, I don't think anybody else is having trouble. Are you on Wi-Fi, or are you trying to use your data? Because that happens to me when I try to watch. Our church they stream live on Facebook, and I try to watch it on Sunday mornings, and it does that to me. And I think it's when I'm trying to watch it through my data, or if I wander too far away, because the loft has brick walls. If I wander too far away from the, from the thing. So somehow, how is this even possible that I've already been talking for 45 minutes? So anyway, I'll start talking faster. And I'll talk as long as y'all want me to within reason, but I don't want to keep you here too long. I do want to show you a couple more things. Actually, hold on real quick. And see, I'm going to lick 4 points worth of stuff. Let's see, as you can tell, okay, Casey says, as you can tell, she's really good at guilt tripping her children. I'm a pro, and you're learning from the best, Casey. So at some point way down the road, when you do finally give me Mowgli, then, you'll already know how to do this. So since it's already 8:45, I'm going to stop and do one thing real quick. Hold on for me for just a second. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be the end game. This is the last thing that we're going to do tonight. This is not the last thing we're going to do tonight. I'm just going to start cooking it so that we can do this last. So this is battered halibut from Trader Joe's, and I'll have all the points, values, and everything will be on here when I transcribe it later. But they just come in a bag. Frozen halibut fillets. And sorry, this is so loud. I'm going to take a couple of them out. And we are going to go over here and come out. So we're going to take a couple of them over here, and we're going to put them in the fryer basket. So I'm going to show y'all how to do something else. And I recommend that you keep a towel or something so you don't have to wipe your hands on your workout pants like I just did. So we're going to go over here and put these in the basket. Let me show you what I'm doing. So and get my fingers out of the way. So again, these are the Trader Joe's battered halibut. You can put more than 3 of them in here, but I'm going to put 3. I'm just going to put the 3 in. And you're coming back to me for just a second, because since those are they're a frozen thing, then I used, remember the little book that came with it. So I looked on here, and frozen fish sticks, and I know those are not fish sticks, but frozen fish sticks, it's 6 to 10 minutes on 400. So what I'm going to do, I'm sorry for the close-up of my nose. So what I'm going to do, and I've already made one of these, so I cheated. John's already, he's already tried one of these. So I've got 3 of them in there. You could put more. You can fill up the whole, the whole bottom of that if you want to. You don't have to. Oh, Angie wants to know, will you have hubby order a pressure cooker? No, ma'am. No, not just yet. Let's perfect this first. So we're going to put it in there and turn it on. And it does have this setting for fish. And so I checked it to see what the temperature was on that, and I put it up to 380, even though I think that one said higher than that. Or no, it was 360. And I'm going to put it on 6 minutes. And I'm going to tell it to go. And you can see I'm good at winging it, because that is not what those instructions said at all. But we're going to check it here in a few minutes. When I made one earlier, let's see. Karen says when you move around it starts buffering. Okay, I'll try not to do that too much then. And Angie says, can you stack them on top of each other? No, Angie, everything needs to be, Angie, that's actually a really, really good question. Everything needs to be in one layer. Do not stack things on top of each other. So if you notice when I did the potatoes, I had them spread, well, I didn't show you them in the basket, but anyway, I had it spread out. It doesn't matter, let's see, like could you put in the whole box? Angie, the whole box has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it had like 8. It had like 8 fish fillets in it. Maybe. In the size that I have, you could maybe do that. But anyway, so we're going to let that cook. And when I did it earlier, I didn't flip it, and it turned out fine. So the thing I was talking about that my other Karen made was she's perfected bacon. She cuts the bacon in half, and she cooks it for 8 minutes, but she flips it halfway through. But she also made these. Look how pretty those are. This is bacon-wrapped asparagus. Absolutely beautiful. Here, I'll back up a little bit so you can see them. So this is 3 pieces of asparagus, and it's just fresh asparagus, from the store. 3 pieces of asparagus, and I wrapped it with 1 piece of Applegate Sunday bacon. I use Applegate Sunday bacon because it's 1 point per slice, and even if you eat 2 slices, it's still just 2 points. So we don't have any of that weird Weight Watchers math going on. So yeah, so I use the Applegate Sunday bacon. And if you all like this, if you all like bacon, do thumbs ups or hearts, because I've only seen 1 thumbs up in the last few minutes, and you all know I love them. Anyway, so yes, this is very yum. Oh, and Angie's wanting to know, so that with the potatoes sliced, you would need to do a few batches to feed the family. Probably. I'd say you can get enough. Oh, so I see you all like them. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all like them a lot. But anyway, so, oh, Casey says, and that bacon is delicious. Oh yeah, so Casey is fed Applegate Sunday bacon a lot, and she likes it. And it works fine in here. Diane says, where did you get that bacon? So, Diane, I got this bacon, they have it at Kroger, but it's weird, it's not with the bacon at Kroger. It's like over in the fruity granola section, sort of. And then, and thank you all for all the hearts. The bacon thanks you for the hearts and the thumbs ups. But anyway, at Publix, at the one that I've been shopping at now, Diane, the one down in University Commons, they have it when you go back to where the bacon section is, you have to go like to the left, and Applegate has a section over there. When I went to Publix last week, they were out, and I was devastated, not kidding. This week when I went to Publix, they had it, so I bought 2 of them to make sure I had it. So I got 1 in the fridge. Yes, the hippy dippy section, Karen, exactly the hippy dippy section. But anyway, it's uncured Sunday bacon, Applegate uncured Sunday bacon. And sorry, I just keep showing this to you, but oh my gosh, they're so good. And I just really thank my other Karen, my accountability Karen, for showing me how to make it in the air fryer so that we could make this more often. So it's 3 pieces of asparagus, 1 piece of Applegate Sunday bacon, so that it's just 1 point for the bacon. And then, you're welcome, Diane. And then I did sprinkle some Bragg Nutritional Yeast on it. Again, just to give it that little bit of Parmesan, flavor. So, while my last thing is cooking, and we have 3 minutes left on that, I'm going to show you all the little plate that I have made. So, all of this together, I'm going to put just a couple of the potatoes on here. And I know this is it's a weirdly shaped plate, but with everything that's on here, this is going to be like, partially because I didn't put a whole lot of potatoes, on this plate, but everything together, this is 4, 5, 6, 7, this is like 8 points. And we'll see if I can show you. You'll see. Angie says, I picked up some turkey bacon at Aldi and she hasn't tried it yet. Diane said, how is it to clean up the air fryer after cooking bacon? So Diane, if you had been on time, you would know. It is so easy to keep clean. Mine, nope, I'm going to turn it around. Mine has a copper insert, and the copper insert makes it, I don't know if it's the copper insert or if it's just that easy to clean, but it is super easy to clean. Here, oops, there's the empty box again. So here is what this looks like. And Karen says it is super easy to clean up after the bacon. She's exactly right. So can y'all see that plate? Woo! Look how delicious that is. So I've got 2 little shish kebabs, some potatoes, the fried corn, and then the bacon wrapped asparagus. And for all of that, let me just do a quick tally in my head again. For all of that, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's like 9 points. It's like 9 or 10 points. And this is something that you would get in a fancy restaurant. So I'll be taking a picture of that before I actually let my husband eat it. And our very last thing has 1 minute left. And since it sounds like I've been buffering, when I move this, I'm not going to move it again. But let me show you what I've got to go on our last thing. So this is going to be a surprise. I'm not going to tell you what our last thing is yet. But this, if you can see it, this is what goes on top of it. And this is a little creation that I came up with today. And I'll try to get that on there as quickly as possible on the blog. Hold on just a second. Oh, and these are perfect. Absolutely perfect. Let me see. Let me turn this around a minute so y'all can see. Okay, so there are those 3 fish fillets. See, David, of course, is still in the box, Diane. I don't know what that means. And Karen says, I want that. So anyway, these are the 3 frozen fish fillets from Trader Joe's. You can use any version. Gordon's, I like the Gordon's ones that are, kind of light. But anyway, these are really good. And so I'm going to show you what the piece de resistance is, because we are right at an hour again, which we seem to manage to do every week. So I have, for this last thing, and actually what I'm getting ready to put on here, that will be a recipe that will be on the blog, because that's way too much information to just put on here. Oh, and Diane says, Kelly, ignore Dave. He likes to make fun of me for hoarding new purchases. Oh, So, Dave, I don't know if you work with Diane or not. It sounds like maybe you do. You should really get her an Airfryer XL, and I can tell you where to get it, and then she can make some of this stuff for you at work. Wouldn't that be fun? So this is 1 corn tortilla, and they're little bitty corn tortillas. They're 1 point each. They're very thin. Let's see. Diane, if you are not going to use it, I'll take it. Oh. So here's, it's this little bitty thin corn tortilla. Now I'm going to go get one of the fish fillets. So so now I have a corn tortilla with one of the fish fillets, and I'm going to turn this around again because y'all can't see this. But anyway, I'm getting super excited because this is the one thing I was waiting on. And I'm going to take the creation that was in the bowl. This is actually a pineapple slaw recipe that I came up with today. We were riding in the car, had to run up to John's work to get some things done for him, and I came up with this today. And so he was kind enough to run me through another grocery store that we have here called Ingles and let me pick up some angel hair slaw so that I could get this made. But anyway, so this is pineapple slaw that I made up today on a fish taco. So what do y'all think? Joanne says, what brand of air fryer do you have? Joanne, I have a Power Air Fryer XL, and it's the 5.3 quart. And Diane says, a work air fryer party sounds like a great idea. Oh, and Angie says, do you have all new glasses? Nope, they're the same ones as last week, Angie. Because remember, I broke mine. These are all I have right now. Anyway, does that not look absolutely delicious? So that is a 1 point. Oh, Diane says, OMG, that looks delicious, so delicious. Oh, and it's getting lots of hearts. Good. So y'all are going to want to see this then when I get this posted on the blog. So, yeah, another Diane. We have 2 Dianes. She says, looks great. I love fish tacos. So anyway, it's a 1 point corn tortilla, It is, and thank you, Karen. Can't wait to try it. It's a 1-point corn tortilla. My slaw recipe, which I haven't calculated the points yet, but I'm guessing it's probably going to be like a point a tablespoon. Wait till you see what's in it. That's why it has a point a tablespoon. And then the piece of fish from Trader Joe's, and I think those were 3 points each, if I'm not mistaken. So when I get this ready to go on the blog, we'll have the I'll have the points tallied on there. Oh, and Angie says take a bite. Okay, hold on. I'll do it just for Angie. I'll take a bite and see what it tastes like. So pardon me while I taste this. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. That is so good. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. So, I'm going to have to rush off here because now I want one of these. And I've cooked enough fish fillets that we can actually have 3 of them. So my husband can have the kebabs. He can have these. Remember these? He can have those. And the corn, little potatoes that we made, and the bacon wrapped asparagus, and then I'll have the fish taco. So actually I can have 3 fish tacos if I want them. But anyway, so do y'all have any questions about air frying? I know I'm still in cases. Cases look so good. Oh my gosh, it's good. So I'll definitely be eating that when we get off here. But do y'all have any more questions about air frying before I let you go and go eat my fish taco? And Casey wants to know if next week, if we can talk about Teamy, and I'm in. She wants to come over and talk about it next week. So just as a quick note, Casey and I did, and actually Karen, let's see. Oh, Angie says she's gonna have a second meal. And thank you, Karen. Another Karen. Thank you. I enjoy doing this. She said thank you for all you do, and I enjoy doing it. But Casey and I have just finished a Teamy 30-day detox. Accountability Buddy Karen, I think, is on her last week. We really enjoyed it. It's tea. Oh, and Teresa says, I really like you doing this for us. I love doing it, Teresa, so I'm glad you all attend. No, Angie, I did not say that next week was Bragg's. I said we would talk about Bragg's, but not next. Well, I don't know. Maybe next week, maybe we can have a Teamy and a Bragg's. Oh, no, thank you, Diane. But I just wanted to show you real quick. After the 30-day detox, I didn't realize how much fluid I was retaining. Yeah, anyway, it's an interesting discussion. So maybe next week, maybe we can do 30 minutes of Teamy tea and 30 minutes of Bragg Nutritional Yeast, since really neither one of them needs to take up an entire hour, if that's okay with you all. But do y'all have any? Oh, you're welcome, Georgianne. It was good to see you. Let's see. And then one of my Karens wants future topic ideas, dessert and non-scale victory ideas. That's a good one. We should definitely do that. And let's see. Carol says she puts a Joseph's lavash, sprays it, and salt, paprika, air fries for 6 minutes. Use it as chips with salsa and makes a whole plate of chips for 2. Whoa, for 2 smart points. Carol, that's a great idea. We're going to have to try that. So as I start making things with the air fryer, I'm going to start doing some more videos. We're trying to work on lighting. Like, I don't know if y'all can tell this or not, but we added some lighting above me. We're in a loft, so, our selection's limited, but we added some lighting above me, and so everything looks harsh. Just made everything look harsh. And I can see my reflection in my glasses. So we're going to work on lighting, and we're going to work on getting some more videos up, because I know it's helpful. It's helpful for me if I can see, what we're doing. If we can see it so I can repeat it. So Carol, that's a great idea with the Joseph's lavash, and I just bought some of that today, so I can totally try that. But if y'all have any last questions, I'm getting ready to get off here so I can go eat my fish taco. And I think my husband's ready for the rest of his supper. But I want to thank you all again. I love doing this. Thank you so much for letting me do this. And so next week, we'll spend a little bit of time on the Teamy. And it doesn't have to be Teamy. We'll just talk about, some detox things. And then we'll spend 30 minutes talking about nutritional yeast if you want to. And thank you, Roxanne, and Karen, and Casey, and Karen, and another Karen. So anyway, I could sit here and say bye to you all night long, but I'm going to say thank you, and I'll see you again next week. Thank you. Bye.